Hello world and welcome back. I'm Karhu, the Great Bear of the North, and this is Europa Universalis IV, all the way up to Mare Nostrum, and of course the MEIOU Taxes Mod, which you can check in the link in the description box below. Now, I'm a little bit further zoomed out than I normally am. That's because I want to explain a couple of things to you. For those of you that might not know what the Hansa is, or the Hanseatic League, it is a loose alliance of trading towns. It's almost like a guild of traders from many different towns, headquartered in Lübeck, in Köln, and also in Riga. And basically, it was an alliance of northern towns. I mean, they had, okay, let's see. They had Köln, they had Antwerp, they had Bruges, they had Hamburg, they had Lübeck, they had Rostock, they had Viborg. What else? Pskov, Gdansk. So many of these little towns. I mean, basically, from within this game, all of this trade route area, even going up into the Baltic and even up here, this was all virtually controlled by the Hanseatic League from its official formation in 1356 all the way up till about 1800, when, you know, the French revolutions and Napoleon kind of really changed how everything worked in Europe. And the organization of the Hanseatic League was based around they originally divided the territory into thirds, or drittels, in the German of the time. And there was there was the Wendish Drittel, which is mostly this area, based in Lübeck. There's the Westphalian, which is mostly this area, based in Köln. And they had the Baltic area, which is mostly up here, based in, where's Riga? Where is Riga? Riga, Haspel, Arnsberg, Herdala. Well, there's Riga in here somewhere. Ah, there we go, Riga, right there. And so that's basically what it was. And in each little area, they were responsible for making sure that goods were up to the right quality. They were making sure that people were getting paid on time. They were mutual defense and all these things, and they could take issues up with the league officials. And there were cities that were officially part of the Hansa, but there were also a whole bunch of other cities that just had offices of the Hansa, such as, I believe Lincoln had one, and a bunch of cities, like Liverpool had one, cities on the East Coast, and there were little pockets of Hansa merchants everywhere from Bordeaux up to all the way up to Trondheim, which is, I believe, here, Trondelag. Yeah, all the way up to Trondheim, and from like Aberdeen all the way down to Naples. So they had a very, very wide-ranging influence on trade at the time. Like I said, their governance, such as it is based around this concept of drittels, or circles. And the influence of the Hansa is still seen today. Lufthansa, the German national airline, it has Hansa in the name. There's a football club in Rostock called FC Hansa. There's actually even a current Hanseatic League that kind of many of the former members that kind of, you know, go around celebrating the things, mutual trade production and things like that. So that's the Hanseatic League, in case you're not familiar with what I've been talking about. And then there's also the case of the Holy Roman Empire. Now, at the time in this game, in 1440, actually, have they gone through the Imperial Reform? Okay, they actually have gone through the Reichsreform. Okay. So initially, the Imperial Holy Roman Empire was just a collection of different states and duchies that were supposed to work together to solve their differences without resorting to warfare, right? But in real history, in 1500 and earlier than 1440 in the history of this game, there was an Imperial Reform, a Reichsreform, and that basically divided the empire, whose borders you can see here, into various circles. The first one divided it into 6 circles. Further reform in 1512 divided it into another further 4. And each of these circles, we had the Westphalian circle, which is this, roughly this purple circle here. We had the Upper Rhenish circle, which is this blue. We had the Swabian circle down here. There's a Franconian. There's Bavarian. There was Austrian circle down here. And there was Upper Saxon, Lower Saxon, and am I forgetting anything? There's a Burgundian circle. I don't know if that's represented here, but yeah, there was even a Burgundian circle, which was around here, and an electoral Rhenish circle. Those aren't necessarily represented in this game, and much like the Drittels in the Hanseatic League, each of these circles was responsible for issues at the sub-imperial level, such as the collection of taxes, mutual defense treaties, imperial courts, and things like this. And so they had their regional, their circle diet, but they also had each of these diets represented, chose representatives from within their own members to represent the circle at the imperial diet in Regensburg. So it's kind of like they were states or provinces that had their own parliaments, but if each of these states and parliaments was made up of quote-unquote independent nations. It gets a little complicated, but that's basically it, and I've spoken way too far. But the reason I'm explaining all of this is because I want to explain to you this. Boom! Right there. This is, it's not a very big graphic at all, but it is a graphic that shows the different regions, the different territories, the different cities in my republic proper, the Kölner Republic, and right at the top you see Köln, and for the purposes of this game, Köln doesn't have, it's not part of any region. It's the imperial capital, it's the republican capital, it's just the way it is. It doesn't owe allegiance to anybody. And then secondary to that is all of the territories in here, and for now I'm also going to keep Rhineland in this, and this is part of the Westphalian circle, Bezirk, I'll call it Bezirk, and then, you know, there's that direction, and basically all of this is what I'm thinking will eventually be this whole Bezirk, the circle. And then within that there's also a Kreis, which is a little region, which is this. It corresponds to the area in Europa Universalis. And then further into that is each of these little, you can call them cities, Stadt, or you can call them offices, Ämter, and it's basically the little regions that correspond to the different counties in Europa Universalis. I've got their current administrative, diplomatic, and military scores. I've got their trade good, I've got their trade circles. Just if you're interested in any kind of thing like this. It doesn't really matter right now, but as the Republic grows, these things will start to become a little bit more and more important when you start having to deal with upkeep of different states and provinces and things like that. If you're not interested in that kind of thing, then so be it. But if you are, then I think it's kind of cool. But as it turns out, as I'm explaining all of this, there is another election that happens. And I can lose 20 Republican tradition, or I can keep Barnabas Ham. And I actually like his abilities right now. So I am actually going to... I'm going to keep him. It will cost me some Republican tradition, but that's okay. Cultural exploitation. A combination of tax advantages and privileges to your ruling culture has slowly caused a net transfer of prosperity away from cultures you have occupied and towards your native culture. If you choose the exploit imperial cultures policy, the rate of this process will double. I'm going to lose something in Roermond. Oh no! Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. I don't want to exploit them. I want them to be part of everybody's success, right? A rising tide lifts all boats, and such like. Well, that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But there's a Ripuarian Franconian Renaissance. The church must come first, or do I embrace secular humanism? Okay. A school of thought called humanism spread out of Italy, claiming that since God gifted men with intellect, intellectual pursuit was divine. Happening at a time when Greek scholars, fleeing the decline of Byzantium, brought back ancient texts that the West had forgotten. That's overly simplistic, but okay. This led to the rediscovery and appreciation of ancient Roman writers and artists for their brilliance, rather than their condemnation as pagans. The new literate middle class that had arisen after the Black Death was just the audience to enthusiastically rediscover the glories of Rome, and this rebirth of classical culture spread across Europe in a splendid flowering of culture. That's a lot of culture in the same sentence. However, the same ideas also led to some heresy. Seeing the brilliance of ancient Rome, some humanists began to believe that reason could justify their lack of faith, and began to judge everything with reason, even the church itself. Now, does the church come first? Choosing the Renaissance is a signal that this country will stay loyal to the Pope during the Reformation. It is not binding for human players. Whereas choosing humanism is a signal that this country will embrace heresy during the Reformation. It is not binding for human players. I can get a theologian or a natural scientist, or a philosopher or an artist. Let's go with secular humanism. Let us embrace secular humanism. And Who did we just get? 2.57. Oh, I can get Oscar Ham, but national unrest and tolerance of heretics. I don't really care about that. Although that 2 per month would be good, but that would actually put me into the red per turn. So I'm not gonna do that. As much as I want to, I'm not actually going to do that. Now, we are sort of disliked by a lot of people because, you know, we just stomped Emmerich over the last 2 episodes ago. I'm just checking my list. Yeah, 2 episodes ago. Cultural exploitation again. Oh, I can gain base power, production, or tax in Dusseldorf. So let's see, will this... No. So I lost something in Roermond, but I did not actually gain it in Dusseldorf, which is frustrating. Oh, I can have a new mission. Incorporate Brabant into our country, prove our prestige, or get access to the city through Neder-Gelre. Well, Burgundy is still allied with the papacy, which is not good. Not good at all. So I don't think I'm going to be doing that. So maybe we can vassalize. No, what is it? Alliance actions? Influence actions. Annex vassal. I need to centralize my nation and wait for the assimilation process to be over. Right now, the assimilation process is of 12.996%. For more details, don't forget to check your vassal policy decision. And then even after that, I then need to start the process. Oh no, after all of that is done, then I can assimilate. But that will take me a while. Ah, a great statue is finished. For nearly 40 years now, various artists have been commissioned to make a marble statue of a biblical figure for the roof of the Cologne Cathedral. Now, Wilhelm Fulda has finished it, and it is magnificent. A realistic, emotional, beautiful, naked man. Clearly, we'll have to add a fig leaf to avoid a scandal. It is also 6 tons, and it is clear that there is no way to place it atop the cathedral as planned. This gives us a conundrum. Where to place this work of art? Many of the artists involved in its creation favor placing it in the town square to be admired by all. The priests would prefer it to be housed in the cathedral to inspire the faithful. Finally, your nobles want it to be placed at the entrance to the palace to show all the power and wealth of the syndic. I'll place it in the town square to gain a lot of administrative power and Republican tradition. Although we could get prestige, but I'm a little bit low on Republican tradition because I did just keep one guy for 2 terms. But that is okay. I can invest in new technology. I can invest in the printing press. Boom! Administrative efficiency +2. Don't really know what that does. But hey, I've got +2 administrative efficiency. That's always nice. I still need a mission. Incorporating Brabant is going to take a long time. Improving our prestige, that's also going to take a long time. Oh, there are Jewish fanatics from Utrecht. Okay, new pope, cool. Innocent the 8th. Now, what do they want? The Jewish fanatics. Do they want to separate? Because if they want to separate, I'm just going to move right in and stomp them. Afterwards. Which, I mean, I could do that. But you know what, I'm just going to improve my prestige, and then I'm going to cancel that mission, see what else I can get. Appropriate church property. Promising army organizer. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to appropriate church property. Because... Oh, take up the construction of Cologne Cathedral. What do I need to do? Administrative technology 29? That's a lot. Okay. German nation. What do we need for Prussia? West Prussia and East Prussia is at least 6? Yeah, I don't even have that, so I can't form Prussia. Prestige of at least 50? Okay, if I get more prestige, I can actually plot a coup. I don't really want that. I'm not going to pursue religious tolerance. Yeah, I already know about all of that, so don't pop up this decision thing. Pursue religious tolerance. I don't actually want to do any of these. Although I could appropriate church property. I mean, let's see, what is the church property? Fluid communications, hey! I might gain back in Rhineland what I lost. Let's see. No. I lost nothing in Rhineland. Yeah. Huh. Oh, right, there was something I was gonna do. I can turn them into a march. Because influence actions, designate march. I have no diplomats, that's okay. But then will become a march. A march is a vassal that cannot be annexed and does not pay any taxes, but has greater military capacity than a regular vassal. Maybe if I turned Bentheim and Brabant into marches, that would increase their power and thus their liberty desire. Well, Brabant is reaching the point where they might be a little bit more willing to speed up, if you will, the process of annexation. So let's choose a policy regarding our vassals. Let's send somebody to Marquis of Brabant. Let us negotiate a tighter bond. Was responded positively. Hey, good. So let's see how that affected things. Brabant assimilation is it did nothing. It did nothing. Right. So that didn't do anything. So I just spent power for nothing. That's unfortunate. Oh, I'm still going super slow. Why was I still going super slow? I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I'm sorry. Yeah. Great advisor has died. Great engineer, rather. Patron of the arts. Do I want patron of the arts? You know what? I do want patron of the arts. Prestige decay. There we go. Because I can eventually go to technology cost. It leads to scientific advances. Yearly prestige. Like these are all good. These are all good. Culture ideas. Ceremony disrupted. One of the core parts of a republic are the great ceremonies of state. This is a time where disagreements and disputes between the patricians are put on hold so we can display our unity of purpose and show the world our strength. Sounds like a good idea, right? At a recent ceremony, disgruntled elements turned their backs on our tradition to air their disagreements with the ruling council. Far from ideal. Far from ideal. There's a gifted Jew. There was always room for talented men. Always. Ludwig Mundin. See, I don't know which category he is, so I can't really... Ludwig Mundin. Like, is he super good? Is he, like... Ludwig Mundin. There's Isidor Mundin. Ludwig Mundin. Ludwig Mundin. He is a level 2... army guy. Like, okay, I have really, really low manpower, right? Yao, there's a Peasants' War in Yao. I know where Yao is? I don't even know where Yao is in real life. But yeah. So, what was I working on? Yes, okay, so I know that I can take Mark. I know I can take him on. So let us fabricate a claim. Boom. Fabricate a claim. Now... They're at war with Utrecht, but they're allied with Hoya and Friesland. Let's add Mark to our territory. Right? Let's... do we want to wait a month? Do we want to do something like that? I don't... Okay, hold on. So, I have 9. My vassals have 7, so that's 16 right there, right? Mark is Hoya in Friesland, so that's 3. Now what about Hoya? Friesland should be first. Friesland is 4,000, so that's 7,000. And Hoya is another 4,000, so that's 11,000 against my... See, 17,000? I'm not even going to call in my allies. I'm not even going to call in my allies. I'm not going to use those favors. Actually, on New Year's Day. I will declare war on them on New Year's Day, 1441. And hopefully this won't last very long. I would like to get this entire war done in this episode. I'll go a little bit extra just because I talked a little bit at the beginning and I forgot to speed up the thing. So I'll give you an extra like 5 or 10 minutes. Diplomacy. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Declare war. I will... What? Oh no, I clicked on the wrong people. Okay. Diplomacy, declare war. There we go. Oh, I'm not even gonna bring Friesland into it. Ah, yes. Good, but it's okay. They have a truce with Mark. Do I have a truce with Mark? I also have a truce with Mark. Really? November 1443. All the time. Always. That always happens. A Renaissance masterpiece of religious art, a famed artist in our country has produced a stunning piece of art that illustrates the supremacy of God over the world. It awes everyone who sees it, and beautifully confirms the order of existence. As the royal family patrons the artist, it is now up to us to decide what happens to it. Despite for the entire Christian world. Perfect timing, I was just in need of some money. That sounds wrong. A perfect illustration of our royal piety. I don't really need stability. Display for the entire Christian world to see. Papal influence and prestige. Let's do that. Military access from Mark? No. Military access from Utrecht? Sure. Now, I said that I would give you an extra 5 to 10 minutes, but that's when I thought I was going to be invading Mark. But I can't. Not for another 3 years. So I'm actually just going to call this an episode right now. So I'm Karhu, the Great Bear of the North. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please like, please subscribe, please comment. I really would appreciate it. And I'm still sitting at 99 subscribers as of the time of writing this, recording this. So, you know, if you want to be, you want to be subscriber 100, that'd be great. Hey, Dusseldorf? Let's increase something? Yay! We increased something. Cool, I think it was production. So, yeah, I'm Karhu, the Great Bear of the North. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Auf Wiedersehen.